You're standing at the edge of everything you've ever wanted. The dream job, the relationship, the life you know you deserve. But there's an invisible wall between you and that future. That wall isn't made of circumstances or bad luck. It's made of fear, and here's what nobody tells you. That wall is paper thin, but you've been treating it like titanium your entire life. Right now, as you watch this, fear is making decisions for you. It chose your career path when you settled for safe instead of passionate. It picked your relationships when you stayed with comfortable instead of extraordinary. It even controls your morning routine when you hit snooze instead of rising to meet your potential. And the most terrifying part? You've become so used to fear driving that you forgot you have hands to grab the wheel. But what if I told you that 2,000 years ago, a group of philosophers cracked the code on fear? What if they discovered that everything you think you know about, courage, strength, and living boldly, is backwards? What if the very thing you're running from is actually the key to everything you're running toward? The Stoics didn't just survive fear, they weaponized it. They turned anxiety into clarity, uncertainty into strength, and obstacles into stepping stones. And by the end of this video, you won't just understand fear differently. You'll realize you've been holding the master key to your own prison this entire time. If that hits deep, if you're ready to stop living as fear's employee and start being its boss, then hit that subscribe button. Because what we're about to explore isn't just philosophy. It's a blueprint for revolution, your revolution. Now let's unlock those chains. Lesson 1. Embrace impermanence. Everything changes, including your fears. Here's something your mind desperately doesn't want you to know. Every single thing you're clinging to is already gone. That job you're terrified of losing, it was always temporary. That relationship you can't imagine ending, it's already changing every single day. That version of yourself you're trying so hard to protect, it died yesterday and was reborn this morning. We live in constant denial of the most obvious truth in the universe. Everything is in motion, always. Your cells are regenerating. Your thoughts are shifting. Your circumstances are evolving. And yet fear convinces you that somehow, some way, you can freeze time and make the good stuff permanent, while keeping the bad stuff from ever touching you. But here's where it gets beautiful. If everything changes, then your fears are temporary too. That anxiety that feels like it's carved into your DNA, it's just weather passing through. That shame that feels permanent, it's already transforming. That sense of being stuck, it's an illusion created by a mind that's forgotten how to flow. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, wrote these words to himself. Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. Think about that. The Emperor of Rome, who could have anything he wanted, who commanded legions and ruled nations, spent his time reminding himself that letting go was the secret to having it all. Watch a tree. It doesn't mourn the autumn leaves or panic about winter's approach. It knows something we've forgotten. Seasons exist to teach us that holding on is the enemy of growth. Every ending is a doorway. Every loss is a clearing. Every change you resist is life trying to upgrade you, and you're saying no. So the next time fear whispers, "What if everything falls apart?" smile and whisper back, "Then I'll finally be free to build something even better." Because if you're not afraid of change, then there's literally nothing left to fear. Lesson 2. Recognize fear as mental fiction. Here's the plot twist that will shatter everything you think you know about fear. Most of what terrifies you exists only in the 6-inch space between your ears. Fear isn't hunting you from the outside. It's a story you're telling yourself on repeat. And you've become so good at telling it that you forgot it was fiction. Right now, your brain is generating approximately 60,000 thoughts per day. Most of them are reruns, the same mental movies playing over and over. And here's the kicker. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between a real tiger and an imagined one. So when you think, what if I fail spectacularly? Your body responds like failure is currently mauling you in real time. Epictetus, who knew something about real danger having been born into slavery, had this revolutionary insight. Men are not disturbed by things, but by their views of things. Read that again. You're not afraid of public speaking, you're afraid of your thoughts about public speaking. You're not terrified of starting that business. You're terrified of your mental predictions about that business. Fear is the world's greatest storyteller, and it only has one genre: horror. It takes the smallest possibility and turns it into blockbuster disaster film. It whispers, remember that time you embarrassed yourself in 3rd grade? And somehow convinces you that moment defines your entire future potential. But here's your superpower. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker. You are not the movie. You are the one watching it. And just like you can choose to turn off a bad movie, you can choose to stop giving standing ovations to fear's terrible scripts. Next time fear starts its performance, become a critic instead of an audience member. Ask it, is this real, or is this just my imagination's horror film? Most of the time, you'll discover you've been afraid of shadows on the wall while the real world waits patiently for you to step into the light. Lesson 3. Return to the present moment. Fear is a time traveler, and it's terrible at geography. It lives everywhere except where you actually are right now. It pulls you into next week's presentation, or last year's heartbreak. It makes you sweat about conversations that haven't happened, and cringe about mistakes that have already been forgiven. But here's what fear desperately hopes you never discover. It can't survive in the present moment. Right now, not in 5 minutes, not after you finish this video, but right now. Are you actually in danger? Is there an immediate threat to your safety? Are you currently failing at something? No, right now you're simply here, breathing, learning, existing, and in this moment, you are whole. The Stoics called this living according to nature, and they didn't mean camping in the woods. They meant aligning with the only time that actually exists, now. Marcus Aurelius, between battles and political crises, would remind himself, confine yourself to the present. Not because the future doesn't matter, but because it only matters when it becomes the present. Your breath is happening now, your heartbeat is now. Your capacity to choose your next thought, your next action, your next response, that's all happening now. Fear wants you to believe that now isn't enough, that you need to be somewhere else, someone else to be safe. But safety isn't a destination you arrive at. It's a recognition of where you already are. Try this. When fear grips you, don't fight it, just come home. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice 5 things you can see. Name 3 sounds you can hear. This isn't some mystical practice, this is practical neuroscience. You're literally rewiring your brain to remember where your power actually lives. Because here's the secret the ancient philosophers knew. The present moment is the only place where change is possible. You can't heal yesterday from yesterday. You can't solve tomorrow from tomorrow. But you can transform everything from right here, right now. Lesson 4. Accept fear as part of your humanity. Let me tell you something that might shock you. Feeling afraid doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. And being human isn't a consolation prize, it's the jackpot. We live in a culture that treats fear like a disease to be cured, anxiety like a flaw to be fixed, struggle like evidence of failure. But the Stoics saw it completely. Differently, they understood that fear, properly met, is the gymnasium of the soul. It's where you build the muscles of courage, resilience, and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire during a plague. Seneca wrote about resilience while facing exile. Epictetus developed his philosophy while enslaved. Not one of them said, "This shouldn't be happening to me." They said, "This is happening, so how do I meet it with dignity?" You know what's actually broken? The belief that you should feel confident all the time. The idea that successful people don't get scared. The myth that courage means the absence of fear rather than action in spite of it. These aren't truths. They're fairy tales that keep you feeling isolated in your struggle. Every person you admire has felt exactly what you're feeling. The difference isn't that they don't experience fear, it's that they've learned to dance with it instead of running from it. They've discovered that fear and excitement are physiologically identical. The only difference is the story you tell yourself about the sensation. Carl Rogers wrote that what is most personal is most universal. That knot in your stomach before taking a risk, millions feel it. That voice that says you're not ready, it's echoing across continents. You are not uniquely broken. You are beautifully, perfectly human. And here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you stop trying to be fearless and start being fear-friendly, you become genuinely courageous. Not because the fear goes away, but because you finally remembered that you are bigger than any emotion that moves through you. Lesson 5. Focus only on what you can control. Here's the truth that will set you free and simultaneously terrify you. 99% of what you worry about is completely outside your control. The weather, other people's opinions, stock market crashes, your parents' approval, whether that text gets answered, if you get the job, when you find love, how long you live. None of it, absolutely none of it, is up to you. And here's the part that will either liberate or devastate you. This isn't a bug in the system. This is the system. Life was designed to be uncontrollable. The Stoics called this fundamental reality the discipline of desire. Wanting what happens, not making what you want happen. But before you spiral into existential despair, let me share the most empowering realization in human history. While you can't control outcomes, you have absolute dominion over your responses. You can't control if they hire you, but you can control the effort you put into the interview. You can't control if they love you back, but you can control how authentically you show up in the relationship. This isn't about becoming passive or giving up on goals. This is about redirecting your finite energy from the infinite things you can't influence to the precious few things you can. It's about becoming so focused on your own actions, attitudes, and efforts that external chaos can't shake your internal peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't philosophy class theory. This is the difference between spending your life pushing against locked doors and finding the ones that open with your touch. When you truly let go of control, something miraculous happens. You gain influence. People trust those who aren't frantic. Opportunities come to those who aren't desperate. Creativity flows when your mind isn't locked in survival mode. The rain will fall whether you want it to or not. But you can always choose to carry an umbrella, and sometimes you might even choose to dance in the storm. Lesson 6. Practice patience with your growth. Here's what nobody tells you about transformation. It's boring. Real change doesn't happen in lightning bolt moments of clarity. It happens in the mundane Tuesday morning when you choose courage over comfort for the 127th time. It happens in small, almost invisible increments that compound over months and years into something unrecognizable. We live in a microwave culture with crockpot problems. We want same-day delivery on decades of conditioning. We expect fear to disappear after reading one book, watching one video, having one breakthrough. But the Stoics knew better. They understood that becoming who you're meant to be is a lifetime practice, not a weekend workshop. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Meditations not as a book for others, but as daily reminders to himself." Every single day, the most powerful man in the world had to remind himself how to think, how to respond, how to be human. If the Emperor of Rome needed daily practice, what makes you think you should master fear in a month? But here's what patience actually means in the context of growth. It doesn't mean waiting for change to happen to you. It means trusting the process while you actively participate in it. It means showing up consistently, even when results are invisible. It means treating setbacks as data, not verdicts. Fear will tell you that you should be further along by now. It will point to other people's highlight reels and compare them to your behind-the-scenes struggles. It will whisper that you're taking too long, that you missed your window, that you should have figured this out already. But every master was once a disaster. Every expert was once a beginner. Every person you admire for their courage was once paralyzed by the same fears you face now. The only difference between them and you is that they kept going when it got boring, when progress slowed, when doubt crept in. Aristotle taught that we become what we repeatedly do. Excellence isn't an act but a habit. Courage isn't a moment, but a practice. Transformation isn't an event but a process. So be patient with your becoming. Celebrate small wins. Honor tiny improvements. Trust that every single day you choose growth over comfort, courage over fear, action over paralysis, you are literally rewiring your brain and rebuilding your life from the inside out. So here we are, at the end of our journey through 2,000 years of wisdom. And I want you to understand something profound. You are not the same person who started watching this video. Something has shifted, something has awakened, something has remembered what it means to be truly alive. The Stoics didn't give us these lessons so we could live comfortable lives. They gave us these tools so we could live extraordinary ones. They understood that fear isn't the opposite of courage. It's the raw material of courage. Every single moment of terror you've experienced, every sleepless night of anxiety, every time you felt paralyzed by possibility, all of it has been preparing you for this moment when you finally understand that you are not fear's victim. You are its alchemist. You have the power to transform every ounce of fear into fuel for the life you're meant to live. That dream you've been postponing. Fear is just excitement without breath, so breathe and move. That conversation you've been avoiding. Fear is just love that hasn't found its voice, so speak and connect. That risk you've been calculating for years. Fear is just wisdom that hasn't learned to trust itself, so act and discover. The ancient philosophers knew something we've forgotten in our comfort-obsessed culture. The purpose of life isn't to avoid difficulty. It's to become someone who can meet any difficulty with grace. It's not to eliminate fear. It's to dance with it so beautifully that others are inspired to join the dance. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is facing the exact same fear that once paralyzed you, and they need to see what it looks like when someone chooses courage. They need to witness what happens when a human being decides that their dreams are bigger than their doubts. They need proof that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. You are that proof. You are that example. You are that light. The Stoics believed that we don't just live for ourselves, we live as part of a larger human story. Your courage creates permission for others to be brave. Your authenticity gives others license to be real. Your willingness to face fear head-on shows the world what's possible when we stop running from ourselves and start running toward who we're meant to become. So as you close this video and step back into your life, remember this: fear will still knock on your door. Doubt will still whisper in your ear. Uncertainty will still be your traveling companion. But now you know the secret that the greatest human beings throughout history have always known. These aren't obstacles to overcome. They're invitations to evolve. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be to become exactly who you're meant to be. The only question that remains is this: will you accept the invitation? Your extraordinary life is waiting. And it's tired of waiting. The time is now. The person is you. The moment is this one. Welcome to your revolution. Thank you for joining us in the channel, where we don't just read about wisdom, we live it. If this video ignited something in you, there's another one waiting, right here on your screen, hand-selected to take you deeper into your own transformation. And remember, every time you need a reminder of your own strength, we'll be here, ready to walk with you through whatever comes next. Until next time, keep choosing courage. Keep choosing growth. Keep choosing the extraordinary life that's calling your name. Stay steady, stay strong, and never forget, you are more powerful than any fear that dares to challenge you.